From Baltimore to the Big Smoke, welcome to Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. It's JV Long, D'Marco Farr. I'm Camryn Irwin, and we get set for Week 7, a trip on the road to London,
Yes.
fellas. Do you have your neck pillows ready?
No. Can I borrow one, please?
Definitely packed mine and my passport this morning.
Oh,
No way. So what does the trip look like? When are you guys heading out?
tomorrow, Friday. So I'm leaving from here, going straight over to London. So I'll be laying
Tonight
down
with
in
a
the
slight detour. I'll see you there.
Look at you.
I was
See?
going to say, I think JV's got a little bit of a longer route to get
Yeah.
to London. You ready to go, man?
I hope so. I hope so.
right.
Geeked. Let's go.
Well, let's take a look back. Coming off the win over Baltimore was 17-3. Rams now sit at 4-2, and they're going to face off against the Jags team, also 4-2. I'll tell you one thing: 5-2 feels a lot different than 4-3 as they are prepping for a matchup at Wembley Stadium. Guys, it was interesting. Sean McVay sat down with you earlier this week, and he said it was a strange game the way it all unfolded. In your conversation with him, what was some of the takeaways, and what were your takeaways from Baltimore?
Well, it was a weird game, but this is the pay league, so all that matters is the result, and you got the W. So, and you've heard me say this before, winning is great deodorant. It covers up a ton of stink. So there were some things that you wish you could have got corrected, but with everything that went wrong or everything that you didn't do right, you still came out of there with a win. That's no easy thing to do in Baltimore. I could care less who was at quarterback. So anytime you get a win versus Baltimore, you should be happy. And like you said, I agree with you 100%. 5-2 sounds better than 4-3, but both aren't bad when you consider. It's better than being the opposite, or 3-4, or worse than that. So you want to come out of this with a win. You want to be heading towards playing your best football. I think you're just about there. At least your defense is on the verge of becoming a top 10 stop all type defense. So all I care about leaving Baltimore is getting that W.
Yeah, defensively it was a great showing, but it comes with the caveat that you're playing Cooper Rush, right, and Joe Noteboom. So was it as good as it looked on paper? I don't know. Conversely, I think McVay was actually killing them on offense. I thought there was a lot of good in that film, but it's the same old issues bogging down the Rams. Slow starts, ball security, not finishing drives, throws off frame, off target, drops. Because efficiency-wise, this is a top 6 offense in the NFL. Scoring-wise, they're pedestrian. They're middle of the pack. And the longer that disconnect continues, and some of it is on the kicking game. It's not all on the offense. But until those good reps turn into big numbers on the scoreboard, yeah, it's going to feel a little wonky when you get a win, but you don't do everything that you thought you could have offensively.
One of the other conversations that you had with him, he said being able to win in different types of games and in different types of ways can be a strength for this team moving forward. And I want to look a little bit big picture here across the NFL. Are the days of dropping 30-plus points week in and week out still a reality in the league today, or even in this season alone?
I think that's part of why last week felt so unsatisfying, is because you saw Houston go put 44 on that same team. Now, Baltimore got some good pieces back defensively. They were not the same defense week over week, and the transitive property doesn't work in football, especially not in the NFL. But, yeah, I think those opportunities are out there. I think there have been days where the Rams could have and should have put up 40 points. They haven't done it yet.
30 points a week for everyone, or just
maybe not a week.
This team, that would be fun. I mean, it's entirely possible. I do, and I think, like you said, even with everything, how wonky everything has been, and how great Matthew Stafford has played, I think there's another gear they can get to, and it starts with Davante. If you can somehow figure out that connection between Stafford and Davante, because like we keep saying, the guy is absolutely open. You've just missed. He's had issues with drops, but if you can provide that part of the offense and improve that by 50%, you're in the red zone. If you're in the red zone, you're in the end zone. If you're doing that, you're setting yourself up to be, rushed between Byron Young and Jared Verse. I think that's what this team is set up to do. So I think you're just about there. So besides the kicking game, I think there's just a few more things that if you can iron that out, I think maybe 30 points is something that's easily attainable.
Do you have any theories on that Davante thing?
About that connection? I would love to go out and watch them work on their route tree. If you're Sean McVay, I might even ask them to go out before the game and let's run the route tree, just so we know where everyone's going to be on certain things. But it seems like Davante, he wants it and needs it here, and it's just a beat off or a beat slower than what he needs, and it just kind of slows it down, and then you can't find the guy. But when they do connect, it's otherworldly. He can put it anywhere, and this guy can grab it from out of the sun. So when that starts to connect, there is no corner. There is no defense.
You know, it's interesting going into this matchup, too, because considering the health of Puka Nacua, I'm wondering if this will be the game that you see that relationship and that evolution between Stafford and Adams really take life.
I loved it. That's the way I was parented. If we couldn't get along with our brothers, we'd just put us in a room and figure it out. You don't come out until you're hugging. So yeah, I mean that's the downside to not having Puka Nacua. You may have to lean on that connection and figure out what's missing.
Two things I appreciate about it. They're each taking ownership. Like Davante's like, yeah, there's more that I can do. And Matthew's like, I'm not worried about it because I know I can make these throws and I'm not giving him the best chance to succeed.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a world where this is the Matthew to Davante game. I also think that it could be in Jacksonville's best interest to try and take that away and make McVay and Stafford try and beat you left-handed because they don't have the top two, receiving duos potentially this Sunday. And so could there be addition by subtraction as far as Davante is concerned without Puka? Sure. Could the Rams really struggle without the best receiver in the National Football League and their secret weapon, not so secret weapon on third down? Yeah. I mean, this could bog down without him. I'm concerned.
If Puka Nacua sneaks up on you now, you're fired.
Yeah.
But
right.
But I think it transforms. Like I think there's a potential for this to be a one-off game plan that is much different than the first 6 have been offensively for the Rams. And so if I'm Jacksonville's defensive coaches, I am losing a lot of sleep this week. Now, I'm in a better position because I don't have to deal with the hammerhead Puka Nacua. But in terms of what's coming down the pike, I don't know.
There's nothing on film. Yeah.
What about 12? You think 12 personnel could be added in a little bit more? Is this the game we'll see Terrance Ferguson? Much more?
Does it have to be in 12?
It doesn't have to be in 12.
Does it have to
Fair
be in 12?
point.
Yeah.
Fair
But
point.
yes to that. I hope so. I hope we see a little bit more of him, especially with Puka being out. It's almost a 1-for-1 match when you think about what they do. But I like him going down the field in those matchups and letting Stafford develop a new receiver, a big body, a guy that can post up in the red zone or at least get you closer to the end zone. So absolutely, I think there's going to be more reps for Ferguson this week.
On paper on the depth chart, the replacement is probably Jordan Whittington, right? But in terms of skill set and attributes and measurables, I wonder if there's a big slot role for T. Ferg. If he's not yet ready to crack your tight end rotation in depth chart, why not now in a different role? But I think that's the element of surprise that Sean McVay has at his advantage. As much under center drop back game as Matthew's been playing this year, they could revert back to the OBJ Rams and just spread them out. And with Jacksonville a little young at corner and shorthanded at linebacker, you could really stress these Jags out on defense with not a completely different look, but one that's not been in keeping with your first 6 games.
All right, guys. Well, we've already been diving into Jacksonville, but I think we need to go back just a bit more and consider this defensive performance that we saw. It's the second time the Rams have held a team out of the end zone this season, the first being Houston, of course, in week number 1. What impressed you the most about that defensive performance against Baltimore?
Oh, how they finished again. That goal line stand pops. Q-Lake getting his hands on one finally. There's a lot of things. First thing that jumps off is those edge guys in Young and Verse and how they play and just the depth you have at at defensive tackle, that you could roll so many guys and throw so many different combinations and just keep you guessing on the run. They could cover every gap. They could go 4 down, they can go 3 down and still be effective with whatever they throw. But I think the thing that stands out the most, because we've seen great defensive line play, right? Possibly the best ever. The thing that stands out is the linebacker play and Nate Landman and what he does and how he does it and how he goes about his business. He has been a wonderful acquisition to this defense, and he is a phenomenal football player. Not just the punch-outs, just where he places himself and how everything is. He's such a calming influence. When they switch or change, he's got it. He's got the check. The way he communicates with Chris Shula on the sideline, it's like another coach out there that's going out there to hit people. So this defense, it doesn't panic, it doesn't blink, and if they can stay on sides on 3rd down, and they have the ability to get to you. So
I caught it.
Yeah, you saw that.
Well, this competition they have with each other, who's going to have the sack lead? It might be leading to some.
Just saying, yes. Everybody's a little bit eager to
Two
get
things.
there.
Can Braden Fisk get in on the game, please? And then let's not let the competition lead us to be in the neutral zone anymore.
I mean, look, there's enough to go around. You don't have to rush to get there. But when you do have a chance to get off, and there's the funny thing. Let me say this. I'm glad you brought this up. They played 75 snaps last week.
Okay.
The defense did. Okay, I don't want to hear any complaints about you being tired. Then get off the field on third down. Then stop messing up your third and nines and setting up third and fours by jumping off sides.
Third of those plays had to come on the first drive and the last
Right.
drive.
Go get them. That's what I'm saying. You have the ability to be a lockdown, go get them type defense. Just don't hurt yourself with penalties and make it easier for them.
Dolak's a dude, huh?
Oh, my God. I like that little Dolak. It's so funny. Is Omar Speights going to go this week? I bet he is. I bet he is. Absolutely. That little dude, if you let him play, he's going to make every tackle. He is one of those guys. Yes, he has been a phenomenal find for the Rams.
I mean, I'm glad Quentin Lake finally got his interception. It's been a long time coming. It's been 4 years coming. But he's playing at an all-pro caliber level in a contract year. And I think he's been a big ingredient, not just to his individual success, but the collective success. The fact that your captains came through in that moment, I think, says a lot.
You know, I'm glad that you guys brought up the first drive for Baltimore because I was sitting at home watching this game unfold, and I'm watching Jared Verse sitting in the middle linebacker spot, sprinting to the line of scrimmage as soon as it's going. I know he got caught, obviously, on some of those hard counts, but I'm going, if I were Cooper Rush, I would be terrified. I would be shaking in my boots because I was watching it on the TV, and I'm going, someone please provide a little extra protection for that man.
It's the center. The center is probably scared to death.
Do we even know, like, was that a hard count or did Cooper Rush just glitch?
That was a plan. Because when they caught him, all five linemen were like, aha, we got you. We've been planning this. There you go.
But in reality, too, I think you saw the effect of Jared Verse, the fear effect, late in that first drive, because you saw once they got into Rams territory, his presence really forced some of those penalties that backed them up to hold them to a field goal on that first drive as well. So, I mean, the fear factor's there. It's not, you don't want the penalties, but in the same vein.
But I think this is the perfect game to just play it clean.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be Godzilla this week, although we would love to see it. But, like, with Trevor Lawrence's running ability, just play assignment football. And I think that will be enough against an offensive line right now from Jacksonville that's really struggling.
Again, you've heard me say this, production equal tolerance. I can forgive a lot if you're making plays.
Yeah.
And they're getting better. Like, this is the best duo in the league as far as edge guys when Byron Young and Verse are out there. So enjoy this while you can, while it's still even, before you pay one guy more than the other. They're actually working together, and they're wrecking shop. So like I said, if you get them into obvious passing situations, it's a guarantee. He's going to get you or he's going to get you.
JB, you think the nickname Bash Bros is going to stick? That was from Sean McVay regarding those two this week.
It's too Bay Area centric, I think.
That's McGuire.
Yeah,
it is.
It was a good baseball reference while they're practicing at Camden Yards. So I appreciate it. This was the week to do it, but no, I don't think it has geographic staying power. It is, fall baseball playoff time.
How about the All Pros? Does that count? There, that's universal. Let's do that.
Sure. I think we'll workshop it.
All right.
Just to put a bow on the defense, Nate Landman obviously picking up the single game franchise record, 17 tackles. Interesting note as well, for linebackers who have played over 80% of the snaps, he currently sits in the top 5 in the league today. That's pretty impressive, just behind Bobby Wagner. He's in good company.
Wow.
Not a bad find.
No.
Thank you, Atlanta.
Yes,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's turn our attention to the offensive side of the ball. Second half was much better than the first. Another slow start. JB, you mentioned it at the top of this show. Just how concerned are you considering what we've been able to do in the first half, especially in the last 2 games?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's concern because there's so much success there. I think it's more just aggravation and like patience wearing thin. Right. And I understand where our fan base is coming from, where it's like, we know the latent potential there. Just put that thing in the box. Like, let's tighten it down. Let's make sure we hit our opportunities. Let's not bust in protection, leading to the Stafford fumble and that 4th down sack. There was a lot of good there, so much good there that the disconnect between the way they're achieving and moving the football and the way that they're not scoring and putting teams away. You don't want to get to the midway point and still feel like you not put your best foot forward on offense.
No doubt. I thought having Big Steve back at left guard was huge. And
really?
There was competition. Like I said, same thing about Omar Speights. Like, there are people out behind you, that really can play. So you better get back.
Right tackle too. Warren's been great.
Absolutely. I would say one thing. This is not a knock on him. I thought he played great as a right tackle. But just go ahead and be mean, man. It's okay to be nasty. If you're going to do it, go ahead and do it. If you're going to come down and chip on a guy, you don't have to be nice about it. Don't let him know you're there. Drill him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are a right tackle in the game. I thought he played great. But having Big Steve out there and just that big body, and this will be a stiff test this week in London because it's Armstead. It's another one of those long oak trees that plays defensive line.
Yeah, you do want to be big guard to guard this
Absolutely.
week for sure.
Steve's, have you looked at his body? Steve's weight is up here, which is the perfect antidote to Armstead. So it's good to have him back. And Dodson again. I thought they're playing a tough brand of ball. So if you can eliminate some of the mistakes and let these guys lean on you, I think they could wear Jacksonville out by running the football too.
I got two things on the running backs too. It bums me out that Corum got dinged again because he has been showing a ton of pop. Like if you want explosive runs, he seems to be the guy giving it to you. And then how about Kyren Williams' response? I mean, I love this guy, easy to root for. Ball security was there, 2 hands on the football. And then his best catch, I think, as a Ram.
Oh, yeah.
Off-schedule creation. He basically creates that touchdown for himself by making that one cheek down catch. And those are the types of plays that, in addition to everything else I said about the offense, like someone's got to just overachieve, right? It can't just be on McVay and LaFleur to get you 30 points a game with their scheme. We know they're more than capable. Someone go out there and, T-Ferg, you get that jet sweep opportunity, take that thing all the way around the right side. Find that pylon. Don't overextend. Don't make a mistake trying to do too much, but let's take it up a notch, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you bring up the Williams catch because not only was it a great call, 1 butt cheek equals 2 feet. I love that.
just
That
wanted
was
to
a
say
good
that.
call. You had to throw it in there. But I think
And
it
they
was
should have
more-
had pass interference on the previous reps. It shouldn't
Everyone.
even been necessary.
Yes.
But also just considering the down and distance 4th and 3, and he finds a shot that deep, it was really impressive. And considering almost like the rebuttal to the game prior, I really like the response there from Williams. We got to dig into special teams, folks. I know.
No, we don't. We don't have to.
How about just one question? I'll give you
Okay.
one.
All right.
All right. Do
You
the
answer.
Rams have a kicker issue or a special teams issue?
They have a field goal operation issue.
Yeah, that's fair. Yes.
I mean, don't take anything away from the work they've done, I think, on kickoff and punt, which has been better. I mean, a shame to have Dolak wandering downfield because you get another takeaway on teams there. But, yeah, the kicking operation, I mean,
Needs to be better.
When your coach decides not to take a chip shot field goal to go up 3 possessions on the road, that tells you everything you need to know. Unfortunately, that's the state of where the Rams are right now. So, yeah, that's – and here's the thing. The clang off the right upright reverberated, but the one they made was the one that spooked me. Am I wrong?
No, you're
Okay.
right. You're right. There's an issue there, and it needs to be corrected. And I'm with you. It comes off of Cardi's foot, so he has to wear it when it goes bad. But it's not just him; it's the entire operation. So, and the shocking thing is, it's lasted this long. You go from protection, and now you have a kicker that's starting to miss. So, it seems like it's trending in the wrong direction, and especially when you get that sort of call, that was a big message. But like you said, you're going to need him. You're going to need your special teams. You're going to need your place kicker. So, let's line up and do it again. You have a bye week coming up if you have to make decisions and choices, but I wouldn't go ahead and say let's adopt a gung-ho attitude because you're afraid to kick. I think it was that moment. I would still trust my place kicking unit and make them prove either way.
At least the
before I start.
protection was better, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so maybe you need to build the confidence back up
Yes.
from that standpoint. Because it's the same guy who made, like 26 in a row at the end of last season into this year. He was NFC Special Teams Player of the Month, I think, at the end of last year. Like, Cardi's got the goods, but whether it's a breakdown of confidence, whether it's a breakdown in protection that led to a breakdown in fundamentals, it's got to change because you can only go so far with what we think is a championship caliber roster,
Right.
and not have that element in play. Like, you don't want to have to make a change, but there comes a point where you got to try something else.
True. But I think it was that moment, and if you get caught in the same situation in London, I think you kick. I would trust it. I would. I mean, I think you have to. You know what I mean?
It would
Yeah.
depend to me how much Matthew's slinging it.
Yeah, this is true. Right.
You guys bring up London. Well, it's the Rams' first international trip since 2019, and currently they are 2-0 under Sean McVay internationally. Interesting matchup, too, facing off against Liam Cohen, for former OC here with the Los Angeles Rams. Is there some continuity there? There's some insider knowledge as these two teams face off?
You can tell, man. When you watch their offense and how they do things, it reminds me of 17-18 McVay. He's making the defense pay for the rules. And he is like you said, the masters of offense are really masters of defense. They can tell what you're in. They can manipulate you to get the look they want and then make you pay for it. So the one thing you have to do, and the one thing that you have in the Rams' advantage, are math changers. And we already mentioned them with Byron Young. They can destroy. Where it shows up on their offense is through their O-line. So versus hitting gaps this week, I would say you're hitting bodies. You're throwing guys into the backfield, and you're trying to force this on to Trevor Lawrence and see if he can beat you with his arm. I would bet that the Rams would be able to get to Lawrence before he gets the ball off, especially with their O-line and the season the Rams D-line is having right now.
I think center for Jacksonville and left tackle are the positions to watch. Real issue in pass protection. I don't know how much of that is Seattle's being elite defensively or how much of that is regression from the Jacksonville offense. But I think Liam got this job as much because of what he did with the running game in Tampa Bay as the Baker story and all that stuff. Like, I know the Rams have been running the gauntlet against opposing rushing games, but just because ETN may not have the credentials or the accolades or the pedigree of McCaffrey and Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, you better bring it on first down this week, because I think a real easy way to lose this game is to lose ETN and to not push the game back on Trevor Lawrence's shoulders in this offensive line by falling behind and by giving up 4 or 5 yards per carry. Like, that's a real recipe for disaster this week.
They probably think they can run it a little bit when you
For sure
consider what Derrick Henry did in the first half.
They've run it really well. Like,
why not?
It's fallen off just briefly, but like their body of work and even Liam's record going back to Tampa Bay says that they can absolutely do that too.
This is no gimme. Yeah, you're gonna have to earn it. This is no gimme. They're gonna try to come at you and run the football. So it's just you have depth at D-line, you have good edge, and you have a great linebacker. So if you play it correctly, you should be able to stop that.
And if you
game.
gave up 37 pressures the last 2 weeks and you see the Rams defensive front coming, what are you going to do?
Run. Okay. Right.
Before we get any further, I just want to give a little shout out to Stu Jackson. He pulled a quote from Liam this week, and it was a story about Sean McVay and Liam and what Liam had learned from Sean. It was really interesting, saying that he had to drop every pass play, right? And I think it really speaks to the coaching tree that Sean McVay has truly created. And I imagine there's going to be some fun, some familiarity as those two face off now this weekend.
Can you imagine if you messed up one of those cars?
Oh.
I mean,
oh my God.
And it wasn't the best year here.
Yeah.
You'll remember.
Right.
So good on Liam for going back to college and then battling his way back up through the ranks. Like, his talent was undeniable, but it's not like he used a rocket ship year here in Los Angeles to catapult to bigger things.
Good coach, yes. Love everything about him, except he's trying to fight bigger coaches. Let's not do that.
Before I forget, don't let Hunter Long beat you. Don't let Johnny Munt beat you, please.
Johnny Munt, here we go again. Can't get rid of him. Like luggage. Stays around forever. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about Devin Lloyd, the linebacker.
Oh, it's a big loss.
It's a big loss for this team, for Jacksonville. Been ruled out with a calf injury. How big of an advantage does this become now for the Rams, just considering this guy has just been wicked, 4 interceptions already this season?
I guess one less guy to worry about. I mean, I guess it kind of evens out. You're going to be missing Puka maybe. So they're missing one of their best guys. But I'll say this, man, on defense, they have, and I said this before, esprit de corps on defense. If the ball gets tipped or if it's on the ground, they think it's theirs. This is how they live. I mean, it's wild. When the ball is tipped, you'll see 4 guys, their eyes get big, they get it, and they don't miss opportunities. If you give them an opportunity to take the ball away, they will. So ball security is super important this week.
Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. Do you feel like he is plateauing or ascending at this point now under Liam?
1 second before I forget, because before we leave the defense behind, do you still have Dennis Gardeck recurring nightmares like
Yes,
I do?
I do.
He's on Jacksonville, just so you know. I hope that didn't ruin your flight to London.
Is that
but
part of the McVay coaching tree?
I mean,
it might be,
man,
yes.
that guy's a thorn in our
Oh,
side.
my God, he's
It's
there
great to have him
again.
out of the division, but now he's in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Sorry, Camryn,
No,
back
it's
on
all
topic.
good. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence, guys.
Yeah.
Plateauing or ascending now under Liam?
I think Jacksonville can't answer that question. That's part of the frustration, probably, right? Is his inconsistency. What I worry about is ability to extend plays and drives. And so that's where I got back to, like, you better be, rush lane integrity is a big deal this week, because if his pocket is punctured and he pulls his eyes down, but he moves the chains on third down, it's going to be a long day at Wembley.
Yeah, he can move. He's got some wiggle. But you do notice this on tape. He can throw it from different platforms. So he's got what you need in the passing game, and he can run the offense. But he's a super athlete, and it seems like he's always out to prove that on every single rep, that he is the athlete that you think he is. But when he does pull it down, this is not a guy that's just running the space. I'm going to take what the defense gives me and slide here. No, he can wiggle. He can make you miss. He can take when you have him boxed in, he can all of a sudden outflank you with his speed and get down the field. And like you said, there is nothing worse than the quarterback that jumps out the window and picks up first downs. That's almost as bad as jumping off sides on third down. Anyway, so here's another running quarterback that you have to deal with.
Before we get any further, I also feel like we have to talk about somebody who hasn't seen as much action, and I'm a little concerned going into this one. Could this be the game that he takes off? I hope not, and that is none other than Travis Hunter. He has been held in his 6 games, 4 of them for less than 35 total yards.
Wow.
Are we going to be able to keep those numbers consistent and going here?
If I forced you to pick a lane for one game and one game only, would you play him on offense or defense this
Defense. I would play him on defense. I would play him like Deion Sanders in prime. He's a great corner. If he steps in front of one and he picks off anybody, if he picks off Matthew Stafford, that's going back for 6.
So
that's devastating.
He joins Davante coming off the bus and doesn't leave him until he
You
goes
got
to
him.
Heathrow?
I would
Okay.
say this is the marquee matchup you've been waiting for. Travel with Davante.
It's interesting because he is playing more on offense. I think he's been better on defense statistically, but he is playing more on offense. So
Yeah, they're giving him a couple more looks at least. This is the MJD Bowl.
Yeah.
We got to give the man a little love. And I knew going into this, as he played 8 seasons with the Jags, I was going, who in the world is he going to pick? Would you like to guess who he picked?
You better pick the Rams. Come on now. He's going to be in the booth with us.
his ring says Rams. I know
Damn
that.
right it does. Yes.
And last I heard, he was upset that they gave Cody Schrader his number.
Yes.
So.
They can
dear.
love him all they want. He's rooting for us. There. Yes.
27-20. He's got the Rams. So
Nice.
fair enough. Keys to victory, you guys. Let's finish this off. What are you starting with, JB Long?
I mean, first of all, where we started, this is a massive game. Like, this is an even bigger game than I think I realized on Monday. And you said it, the difference between 5-2 and 4-3. Not only because of what that means for your potential fortunes, but I think because of what it gives your front office license to do. If you're flying home at 5-2 with a bye and the Saints at home coming up on the trade deadline, I think you'll have a very good opportunity to maybe fortify your roster or at least make some calls attacking areas that I think can transform you from a contender to a championship favorite. I think making sure that Lawrence doesn't do damage with his feet is there, winning that early down, pushing the game back on his shoulders so that ETN can't turn chains on you and shorten the game the way that some teams like San Francisco and Baltimore have done lately. And then how about a turnover-free performance for once? Rams are too deep in the season to have not played a clean game yet. I think that opportunity is in front of them.
Let me think.
I said key to victory. He gave me keys.
Yeah,
Love
let me
it.
think. What else? What did I say?
Way to
Oh,
go,
yeah.
JB.
Don't jump off sides on third down. Start there. How about at least 6 points from your kicking game? At least 6 points from your kicking game. Now, that could be X getting loose and breaking one, and then you get the extra point. That's obviously 7, but 6 points. I'd love to see Cardi go out there and kick a field goal and just have a clean operation. 1-2, boom, it's through. I mean, he absolutely cuts the goalposts in half. And everything else that JB said is ultra important, but I think for confidence, for everything, for where you are on the verge, with it's on the lips of everyone, and your coach just put it on Front Street with that call on 4th down. Everybody's worried about your kicking game. The only way to get through that is to go out there and be clean. Absolutely be clean on teams, at least 6 points out of your teams, and be penalty free there.
You already had to suffer through a loss on your mini bye. Like, get a victory and feel good about your fortunes at the midway point. Enjoy the flight home, rest and recover, and get ready for a big, big second half of the season.
My key to victory is going to be getting after Trevor Lawrence, like you mentioned, trying to keep him contained. Last week against Seattle, sacked 7 times, and get this, 17 QB hits.
17
in one game. That's
Is that a lot?
That's
It's a big
painful.
test for him, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you've been peppered like that for a couple of weeks now and you know the Rams are next, you know, how willing are you to live life in the pocket this week? He's capable
I
of
bet
it.
it's coming out fast. Yeah, this could be an op.
And not to forget here, Robert Hainsey, their center, is not making, or he is making the trip to London, and he missed last week with the hamstring. So that's a big one to watch in terms of the matchup. Any final thoughts before you head off to London?
Yeah, I'm going to count Maurice Jones-Drew jerseys over there and see
how many
if
there are.
I get past 12 before we get out of Heathrow. Yes.
Happy birthday to Joey Hirsch.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
there you go. He's in the room shaking his head at you right now. You got to love it. Happy birthday, Jory.
Sir.
No one's still watching. That'll just...
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I kept it under, I think, like 35 minutes, so hopefully people are still hanging on. I hope you all are able to wake up bright and early, grab your cup of coffee, because this one's kicking off at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard
Earl Grey
Time.
tea, as the case
Or
is.
Earl Grey.
Yes.
And join our fellows, of course, on ESPN LA Rams Radio. For JB Long, D'Marco Farr, I'm Camryn Irwin. Thanks so much for joining us on Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our videos.